Good morning, everybody. We're now recording this class, and the class for today is going to be the e-sign program on Transaction Desk. And let's make this a fun class. And I would appreciate everybody putting their microphone on mute. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you the whole process. And then after that, we'll have like 5 minutes to ask questions, and then we'll continue, okay? Because we don't have a lot of time and there's a lot of things to do here. Now, the first thing that I'm going to go through is the different areas that you can actually start a transaction. So you have the first one is quick action. In quick action, you can create a transaction. You just click and you start putting the information. If this is a listing, you can put the MLS. If it's not a listing yet, because you're going to get the listing, then you do nothing here. You put what type of transaction is going to be. So if you're doing a residential lease listing, residential listing, whatever it is, you just put what type. A condo listing, in the process that we're going to be doing today, it's going to be a condo listing. So that's what I would have chosen. And remember, for now, you're going to put that this is an open status. That is what the transaction desk organizers have told us to do. Because right now we still haven't, we haven't filled out everything. We're not, it hasn't become a complete listing yet. So it is open. That is what the status is. And then of course you will give it a name and the name that they want you to use. And I got an email from Soraya to please tell everybody to use the address. If you want to use an address / a name, that's fine, but it has to be the address first. Okay, so that's what you would use. Then the contact, what type of contact is this? Is this a buyer, a seller? Who are you putting down? What the name of the person that you're putting down? So this would be a seller, and then I would look for the seller. If the seller is not in my KV Core CRM file, then I would go to add new, and then I would add that person to the file. Okay, and it's not opening. I don't know why, but it should. It should open. And when it opens, you then can add a new person. Then you can come right here, add another person. This one is the, let's say it's the listing agent, okay, which would be you. Then you would look for your account. You should have your name here, and then it should find you. So it finds all the Elizabeths, okay? And then you find, until you find yourself, Elizabeth Perez, and then I would put myself there. So now it's there. And like that, the best situation is to add everybody that is going to be in that contract, that you're going to be sending to, or that person needs to get a copy of the actual contract. So I would add everybody that is involved in that transaction. You can even do the lawyers, you can do everybody, a title agent, everybody that you have, you can do that. You can, if you don't have it at that time, you can later do it in another area, which is called details. Okay, so that is the transaction, creating a transaction. So you can do it a quick action. You can do it where it says transaction. And you can do it also in the CRM. So if you go to CRM and you go, you go to Elizabeth, you look for your client, whoever your client you're going to be using, and you click on Elizabeth, which is who I'm using myself. Then what you can do is where it says transaction, you can click add a transaction, and it will take you, see, to the same thing. It will take you to the same place to create a transaction. And then when you fill out everything, you would press create, and then that creates the transaction. And then what we would do, there is that it will take us into the transaction. Now we're going to go to the third place, which is transaction. When you are in transaction, right now what's happening is that you're going to be seeing all different people with their transaction. That's a glitch that the system has, but it's not a problem. That people can get into your account. They can't see your information, except the information that they can see is this that you're seeing here. Okay.
Hello, this is Rosa.
Hello.
Mira, vida mía, lamento mucho que esté pasando eso. Yo me estoy comunicando con la profesora, pero ella...
Hold on.
Entonces ella, lo más pronto que pueda, se va a comunicar con ustedes para aclararle esa situación, porque ni yo, ni mi supervisor, ni nadie más tiene esa información.
Sorry, guys. Ay, mamma mia. Okay. So as I was saying, the items that you see here are not, and nobody's able to go into except yourself. So I have here Elizabeth Perez condo listing. That's the one I'm going to be using. So I can go straight to my listing because I have it there. But let's say that I don't have anything and I want to create a new one. The same thing. You just press create a transaction and do the same process, okay? Then it's going to show up here and I'm going to click condo listing. And when I click on condo listing, it is going to show me view transaction, okay? So I'm going to view the transaction.
Can I say something, Elizabeth?
I would prefer if we waited, but go ahead anyway. But if not, we'll have not enough time.
Okay, for the people that ask how to enter directly, what I did is just when I click there and opens this pr.transaction.dex, I save that. And then I bookmark this page and I can enter directly to the transaction board this way.
Yeah, but that's because you have the password already saved in the program.
Yeah, but everybody can enter through KV Core and then they will have the password without even knowing what your password is. But when you access that directly...
Right, Gabby, but the problem was they wanted to know what their password was because we provided that the first time and we told them that that's the link. Mm-hmm. But if they want to change their password, if they want to get a password, that's what they're wanting. They're wanting to get that password.
What password?
To get into the program.
Oh, I'm already in. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you, Gabby. Now we're here in the actual transaction that I am working already on. If you had many transactions, you can go to this dashboard and you can find your transaction here. So if you have more than one transaction, all the transaction would appear here in this area. One of the things I wanted to show you, because I know that we had somebody last time wanted to ask, what can you do about task? If you want to have, like I have down here, I want to put my task. You can put that in your agent dashboard. So you have everything in front of you. You know that in Form Simplicity, all these transactions are all the way at the bottom. You never know where they are. They're you have to go down to the actual page and see the task. Here, if you click on this lock unlock dashboard, you click on there, it will provide you with the different items that you can do. You can do your checklist. You can do, like I did, the task account. you know, and then that will appear. So if you have a task at any other time, the task will highlight down here, and it will also send you an email letting you know that you have tasks that are due. So I believe, I don't remember, I think it was Mercy that wanted to know how she could do that. And that is what this program does. It will remind you that you have a task, okay? Now, let's go back to the actual transaction. And in the transaction, when you're doing a transaction, I'm going to do this real quick because this is not what we're doing today, but just so you remember, the first thing that you do is create the transaction. The second thing you do is apply a template. And a template, remember that the template is just the package that we used to have in Form Simplicity, okay? Which is basically, it has the same names, everything. So it's your as is, your condo listing, your condo listing template, your purchase and sales template. So it's the same thing as the package. After you choose what package it is, please, somebody has their mic on. If you can please turn it off, thank you. After you have done this, then you will go ahead and go to the next item, which is your checklist, okay? Then now, in my case, I have all my forms, which are here, for my condo listing, okay? And the forms are all here in this area where it says forms. Then now I want to do a checklist. Checklist is your broker review. Checklist is your broker review. But in this scenario, they want us to go ahead and create the checklist as your third item that you do. As soon as you get your package, do your checklist, because it is integrated and you will see how easily it is done after you already have your checklist chosen. How do you get your checklist? You go to add. I already have my checklist here, but you go to add a checklist down here. And then it has the same thing that it had in the Form Simplicity. I would then click on LCL, listing condominium property. That's what I'm doing. And it will automatically fill out all the information here for you. One of the things that this has is something called a basket. The basket is, for example, if you want that in the checklist, the exclusive listing, the affiliate listing, the affiliate disclosure is together, you click on them, and then in here, sorry, they're supposed to have a thing that says merge. In this case, it didn't do it. There must be a glitch. But normally that basket is to merge anything that you wanted together in your checklist. It should be working in the future. Right now, what it has as that if I wanted to remove them, I can remove them. So that's a way of removing items from the checklist that if you don't want them in there. But it also is supposed to merge. But in this case, it's not happening. I'm sorry. I don't know why. The next step is the import. Okay, so when you go to details, you want to make sure that you have your information correct, because if like in this case, this one was a listing, but if it would have been a sale, you would have had here the MLS number. Remember when you created the actual transaction, you would have put the MLS number and it would have brought in all the information from the MLS, okay? According to Tom Baker, there's still some issues with the MLS in some of the offices, but all this will be corrected by March the 1st, okay? That's when we are going apparently live. We're live right now, but I mean, that's when you have to stop using form simplicity and for sure have anything that has to do with your commission has to be added to the transaction desk. Now, from here, we go to the next step is to import, okay? Because you have put in some information, but not everything is there. So what you would do is you would have the ID of the property. So like you see here, the only thing I have here is beaches, Miami and beach, and this other, which I'm not sure which one it is. So I use the realist, and then I go by county. And then I look for Miami-Dade. There it is. It's under date only. And then I would need to have the parcel, okay, of that property. And then let's say that this was the parcel. I remember this square. This is very, very, very important. If you forget to click on that, nothing will happen. So you have to click on it so that the information will transpose into your detail. So then you would hit import and then you would get it. Okay. And then all of this would have been filled out. All right. Like it has. Now, if you know pricing, if you have more information and you want to put all that information in, that's great. The more information you put in, the better it is. Okay. Then the next step, and then every time you do something, every time you fill in something, every time you have information that is new, you come here to the check and it's supposed to save it. Ay, Dios mío. All right, it's not saving it, but it's supposed to save it. Okay, guys. Now, the next step we're going to do is we're going to the forms to look at our forms that we already have loaded. And we can go into these forms. So it's the exclusive listing. And we want to make sure that all the names, everything has transposed correctly. I noticed yesterday that it doesn't look like in form simplicity, the address is together, because here it asks you for the street name and it asks you for the address of the property separately. And then it asks you for the unit separately. So then it has 3 spaces. Okay, so you have to be very diligent on looking at that, because I had put it someplace else and the unit wasn't coming out. So I had to fix that issue. Okay, and then here you can put the date that the property is going to be put in the market. And then of course the rest is the usual thing. The only difference is here now, besides the price is being spelled out. That's something new that the forms have. Then the rest is like we have it in every other form. Now, one thing that that you can do is you can do from here, you can actually go to the pages. You don't have to scroll. You can just click and it brings you to the pages. The other thing is you can save from here, save, and then you can also save as a PDF already to your file. So that is also a nice thing that they have there. These I have not used. These are for the clauses. I have not used this yet, but if you're somebody that has clauses and you use them a lot, I normally do addendums. I don't do clauses here because we really don't have a lot of space in the contract, because Kai's already puts all their clauses in the extra space of number 20. So I normally do anything that I have to put in, I do it as an addendum. Okay, then transaction form, you don't have to go out. This, as per Tom, you can go straight from here and change to the next form that you want to see. okay? And then it will show you that form. And it saved the first one you were doing, okay? It saved it. Now, after you, again, you check everything, the address is correct. You want to make sure, see, like, I want to make sure that that 3 is there. It's there. So that's not a problem. And then, of course, again, I'm finished. I'm not going to put any other form. So I just say save. You can also exit and just press here, save, and it also will save it and exit from the forms. Okay. If you have documents that you also want to send for e-sign, whatever it is, they gave you an additional document that, for example, I like to go ahead and I like to put the record of the property. I like to go to miami-dade.gov and get the tax record. So if I wanted to add that to the actual e-signing, I can go ahead and click on add, and then I can go and add a document, and it will give me the different places that I could get it from. I can get it from my computer. I can get it from a Dropbox. I can get it from the cloud. I can get it from an email. You actually can upload an email of yours, and I can also download the contact card. Okay, so it's a wonderful thing, I think, personally. I used to do that a lot, but it's easy. It's right here. I don't have to go down to files, look for it, then upload it, then bring it in. I don't have to do that. I can just do it right here. So it's easier, I think, personally. So now we're going to go to signing. And signing can be, you can go to it in different places. You can go signing from, well, mine doesn't have it. Tom Baker says that in his, he has the signing is also from up here, but in mine is not. It must be the brokers have the special things. And you have signing from the left side, and you have signing from the right side. So we're going to go from the right side. And here it shows that I have two forms to do. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the transaction. And this is pretty much the same. So I'm going to create, this is like when you would be saying in the signing, you would be saying to the e-sign, I'm going to create an e-sign. And then it takes you to create the e-sign. This is where we would be doing. The first thing is, of course, the detail. Then this is, remember, this is the name that you gave to your signing section, okay? You don't change it because that's the name that the program recognizes what e-signing you're going to be doing on what transaction. Then you have the order that you want this signing to occur. This is, for example, when we were doing it before, you would click that and it would go, depending on where you have the person's signature, it will go in that order. If you want to do, I don't know if some of you might have, you might use the advanced option, which the advanced option is, let's say you have a client that is a very busy person and you are very busy and you don't want to have to go ahead and send the e-sign to them, every 2 or 3 hours. If you set it up here, it will send it every 4 hours for you. Okay, excuse me, here. It will send them a reminder, hey, it's been 4 hours since I last sent you this. Remember, you have to sign it. So this is something very important if you don't have the time or you just want to forget about it and have it done. Okay, if not, just use the regular signing in line, okay, and forget about the advance. Then you go to the participants who are going to sign. Well, the people that are going to sign are the sellers, okay? Then you're going to have Carlos Villanueva. He could either sign or he could just get the CC, because normally Sureya, I don't know if she's going to do that or she wants us in the future to send it to him also, but Sureya normally sends it to him after she has reviewed everything. Then she sends it to him and signs, okay? But at this moment, what I did was, as a listing agent, because there's no forms that I have to sign, as the listing agent, I just put myself as CC, and this is how you look at it. You click on the person, you want to make sure that the person, the seller, the buyer, whoever is the client that has to sign, that their name is there, that their email is there, their role is there, and then the custom signature already is there, so you don't have to worry about that. And if you want to even do the custom subject and message already, if you don't want to wait until the end to make a message for the person, you can write here, hey Manuel, please just follow the steps, the process on the e-sign for me and sign everything. Thank you. Any question, give me a call, something to that effect. Now, this signing pin, this is, for some reason, it did it automatically. As per Tom Baker, this is something that you could do directly for your clients, okay? You could put a pin if the client is sharing the email. So that way, you know, and you protect yourself that Mary didn't sign for Manuel. Okay, so this is a way that Manuel is going to get a pin from you, from another email, or you text it to him on the phone, whatever the scenario is. And then he, when it gets to Mary's email, he will have to put that pin to be able to use it. So that protects the scenario of somebody using the same email, okay? Then if Manuel was right in front of me and we were using my computer, then I just would click in-person signing. And then the reviewer is going to be Carlos or Sureya, or even, you know, like my mentees could put me down and I could review the package when it comes back to make sure everything is fine. Or you can just put the CC only, and that means that they will get a copy of the report of the file after everything is signed. Okay, if this client is a new client and you haven't had them saved to your CRM, you can save them right here. So that way in the future, their information is already in the CRM and in the transaction form, okay? Then you save the participant because everything is good. You save him to the file. Then the same thing would be with Elizabeth. And for example, if I had the wrong email or I had forgotten the email, then you get like a little red icon that tells you something is wrong and it will not let you go to the next position, okay? So in Carlos, the same thing. Remember, this is what I did. I put Carlos in, and then I put CC for him, okay? I put his email, and but he doesn't have to sign now. Then this will take us to the system layout of the actual form. How do you want it? So Manuel is first, Elizabeth is second. You can change them around. You can put Elizabeth first and Manuel second. So whatever the order that you want them in, that's the order where you can change the order. Then down here, listing agent is Elizabeth, and listing broker is Carlos. But the reason that Carlos is not there, and mine would have been Elizabeth Perez team is not there because I didn't put them as signers. I only put them as CC. Yes? Yes? Does anybody have a question? I hear. Can you please put your mic off, please? Thank you.
I know that there's several questions in the chat.
There is, okay. Thank you, Amanda. Hold
You're
on.
welcome.
Okay. 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 Teresa, I'm sorry, but this one is going to be, I'll send you an email. I'll send you the other video that we have from the first class, but this class is going to be about e-signing. So
Okay,
that
okay.
is why, okay?
Just send me the email, I'll figure
Yeah,
it
yeah,
out.
yeah. I'll send it. Just stay for this one. Try to understand it, and then you'll get it when I send you the other one. Okay.
I'm actually not confused at all. It's
Oh.
pretty easy. It's not that complicated, but how do I get started? Just the
Right.
password
I
setup.
had a question, if you don't mind me asking before even getting to the e-sign. The form there's a form that is not included, which is the Florida board.
Yeah, you have to.
the listing agreement.
Yeah, I talked about that last week, the last time we had the class, and we put an email on that for if there is any forms that are not in there, you have to inform Tom Baker or Greg Driscoll.
Okay. But my question is, if the form is not there, which is in Form Simplicity, I can download it. Can I
You can
upload
also
it to this
do,
form?
yes,
I
yes.
can upload it here
Right.
and then do the e-sign through here.
Yes, you can do that too.
That was
You can do
my
that.
question.
Okay.
Okay.
Then transaction history is going to be transferred. No, nothing is going to be transferred. None of your transaction is going to be transferred. Everything that is in, this is like Las Vegas. Anything that happened in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas. Anything that happened in Form Simplicity stays in Form Simplicity, unless you actually download everything and upload it to the transaction desk and create a transaction. And I don't really advise it, because you're always going to have the ability to go back to Form Simplicity and look for a client, a file. One of the things is, for example, the other day we had a question: why do I have to do a transaction, or why do I have to put a person that is not buying a property? They went, they saw the property, we did a contract, all of that. Why do I have to have that in my file if they didn't actually buy it? Well, because sometimes people come back and they try to sue because they said the reason they didn't buy it was because the agent never presented it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We had the example that I think it was Molina reminded me of, that Carlos had told us back many years ago, that there had been a person, excuse me, that was Lily was the one that told me this. There was a person that she went ahead and she did not present the contract. And that person actually met the owner of this house in a party. And he says, "Oh, I'm so sad that I was not able to buy your property." And the person went ahead and said, "What do you mean? I didn't have any other offers." And then he went through the whole story. Well, that agent was sued because she never presented it, because the one she presented was beneficial to her, because it was both sides of the transaction. So that is why we need you to maintain whatever record you have, to maintain it in the files of Form Simplicity. So we don't want you to delete anything. We don't want any of that. And the details of the commission, that I will have to send you a little email regarding that, because or at the end of this, we can go through that. Okay, Bridget, I will try to do that also.
Okay, thank you.
So basically, don't worry about the records in Form Simplicity. They'll always be there in case we need to print them. Okay,
exactly, good. Exactly.
That's finished,
Hold
guys.
on.
That's
There's
finished.
one more question.
Yes, this is Victor, Liz.
Yes, Victor.
I have a question. The reviewer part of it for Carlos and Zurare, when will they get that cleared up as to how that's going to be handled? I have another question that deals with the participants. In Form Simplicity, we used to have a check mark that included everybody. How do we know who's being checked that be included and who's not? And when we upload documents to this transaction desk, is it saved for our next transactions or do we have to upload it again? Those it's kind of like 3 questions.
Okay, give me the last one again.
When you
If you
upload
what?
documents to your transaction, is it there for your next transaction or is it something you have to do every time for a document that's not there? Or a form that's not there?
No, for example, if you have a transaction that you're working on, let's say now I'm going to be listing this property and I listed this property. That transaction, I can use that same transaction, put in the next the next forms for when I have the buyer. When I have the buyer, I can go ahead and hold on a minute. I can go ahead, Victor. Oh, give me a minute. I can go ahead and create a checklist for Sureya, and I can go ahead and create the template for the buyer right in that transaction. So you don't have to create a new transaction for that same address. If it's going to be for that same address, you do not have to create, as per Tom Baker this morning, which I saw his class, you do not have to create another transaction. You can continue using that transaction, just put in the new forms and just put in the new checklist.
Can I create templates that will be saved for other transactions in the future?
Can you create your own template?
Like with all my documents that I can use, like simply add it in Form Simplicity, so I don't have to keep uploading. Okay.
You can create your own template, and that is when you're in the transaction, and when you see the transaction, there's an area there that says where you have the 3 little buttons. It says create template, and you can create your template. That will be another class. We should have Tom Baker is going to do a class on that next week, and then maybe Tanya can give you the class on all these other little details that are not necessary about the transaction itself, but little things, how to make your life easier, making your own transaction, your own templates, making actually the form itself. If there's something that you add to the form, like your name, the Carlos's name, all of those things, you can create that beforehand and have it ready. So when you're going to use it, it is already done for you. So yes, all of that can be done very easily. It's just that it takes time to explain it and do it. So hopefully for next week, we can have all those little extras for you. Okay.
When will we know who to send it to, whether it's going to be Zurare or Carlos, so that we're not
We're
duplicating?
going to send it to checklist. It's going to be in the checklist. Sureya is the one that would be reviewing that. You don't have to worry about sending it to Carlos, because it has never gone to Carlos first. It always goes to Sureya first, and then Sureya sends it to Carlos. Okay, that has been my understanding. Always Sureya looks at everything and everything is fine. Then she goes ahead and sends it to Carlos for signature. Okay, it might have been that if he got it first and he looks at it, that's fine, but that's how it should be. Sureya first, then Carlos, because Sureya is the one that has to tell you if something is wrong. And that is done. You don't have to do anything about it. You just send it, you just do your checklist. In your checklist, it is automatically sent to the admin. Okay? Okay, let's get back to this. Now we have everybody that is going to be signing. Now we're going to add our documents. Okay, and here, this is where I was talking to you about. It went too fast for me. Here is where you would do like we did in Form Simplicity. Anything you wanted to add, any initials, any X's, any stamp, this is where you do it. And then what do? In the top part on your right-hand side is where everything is going to be. There's no left-hand side anymore except for the forms. Everything is going to be on your right side, okay? So now I'm one, please, somebody has the microphone on. If you can please turn it off, I would appreciate it. If, for example, I am one that likes all the pages, even if it doesn't have it, I like that all the pages are initialed by the buyers, by the sellers, by the list, you know, when we're putting a listing. So I want their initial to be on each page. So they will go ahead and initial. So I would go and I would just bring those down for them. Okay. So each page I would put the initial for Elizabeth and for Manuel. Now, for example, all the ones that are needed, that the form it needs it already has it for you. So if you don't care about having each page done, this form is done. It's done for you already. Everything is done. You have the signature, you have the date, you have everything there for you. So you don't have to do anything, okay? In this case, this is where if we would have put Carlos, his signature would have to be here, okay? But in this scenario, I'm not doing it like that. I'm going and I'm sending it first to the seller. Then after I do the seller, all that, then I'll send it to Sureya, and then Sureya will send it to Carlos. Okay. Now, the next thing is, if you need a date, you just get your little stamp, you drag and drop. So if you want to make sure that you show that the person did the initials on a specific date, you will put that date there. Okay. Then if you need to put something that the seller is requesting, you would put that here, and then you would put whatever the seller is requesting. Okay. The seller is requesting blah, 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 blah. They want to have a credit report. They want your tax returns. They want, whatever it is, that's where you can put that there. But if you're the one that wants to put something, okay, so I'm requesting from the seller, I want to request from the seller, you grab and you're supposed to, okay, guys. It's supposed to come with me. And it's not, okay, but, oh, wait. Nope. Well, basically it would make, I have to tell him that mine is not working, but it would make the little box for you, okay? And when it does the little box, that's when you would put, like, for example, I like to ask my sellers to give me their warranty deed, to give me their title policy, and all the things that they have on the house. I want a copy of that. So I would put that little box there and I would request that. So that is what this is for, okay? And when it works. And then if you have to remove something, if they're, you're working with one of these top-notch lawyers and they request that, no, their client cannot have, I don't know, the $3.99, okay? And you have to remove that $3.99 and now you're going to lose your client. Then again, ay Diosito. There it goes. Okay, so now I have removed the $3.99. It's done. Okay, so of course we would have to have an initial. So we would go back to the drag and drop, and we would put an initial here, and then initial for Manuel. You can put his initial on the other side so it doesn't look so cluttered. There we are. Okay, So that's how this area is done. And I personally think if it's working, it is really easier to use. It's really easier to maneuver because it's all there on your right-hand side. Okay, your Zoom. If you need to go to the page instead of having to do, you know, you're working from your phone, you don't have so much space, you can go straight to the page itself. Okay, so that, you know, that's a nice thing that it has. You don't have to be scrolling, you can just move the little arrow. And there is other options here, saving the changes. Like, you know, sometimes, I don't know if that had happened to you, but sometimes when I was in Form Simplicity, I would be doing all my work, blah, 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 and I forgot to hit save markups. And then suddenly I finished, I pressed on the top, save, and then half of the markups weren't there. So I always like to go ahead and use the save changes before I even get out to, before I go to next. Okay, so that's something that you can do, and you can print and download at that time also. And then remember, every time you have something open, you have to go back to the Word and click. Now, before we go to the next session, any questions? We're good? Amanda, do we have any questions? Because I don't see it on the...
No, I don't see any either.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's continue. Then the next, hello, yes? Okay, so we're gonna go to next. And then next is where it says you have successfully completed the creation of this signing, okay? To change the email address of a signing participant or customize the invitation email, subject line or message before the invitation are sent, select customize. So remember that I told you when you're in the participant in
Wait,
their file,
Elizabeth, we can't see your screen.
you can't see my screen?
No.
Yes,
Oh.
we lost it.
You lost it. Okay, let me. Why did that happen?
Maybe in view. I thought it was me.
No, let me see. It's not letting me share. What is this? Why is not letting me share? There we are. Okay, there we are. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Now I lost myself. Okay, so remember that I said that when you're in the participant area, you can go to each person's information, and then right here you can do the subject email, and you can put the email that you want to send to them for this particular signing. So you can have that done at that time, okay? Instead of doing it at the end, you can have it at that time. So when we have already done the documents, and now we're in the one that we're, you know, putting the initials, and we're putting the markups. When you're already done everything, then you go to where it says next, and it is saved. It doesn't have, remember before it had like 3 times. You saved it, then it showed it, then you went to next again, and then it gave you for the last time the email. Here you have the choice if you want to see the email. In this case, I haven't written anything to each of these people. So here I would say, hi, here is the listing agreement. Please follow the e-sign process, or whatever you want to put. Now, you can have this already done, like I said, when you did the participants' information. You can have it done from that moment, and that way you don't have to worry about it, okay? So when you say save, then the next thing that would happen is I would say send invitation, and then it automatically sends the invitation. I'm not going to do that because I'm not ready yet to send. And then the send invitation, there will be in the e-sign, there will be an information for you saying in the e-sign, you have a history. In this case, I don't have any history, so it's not going to show me anything, but it will have the history telling me if you have, see here, history. Oh, it does have history. See, so if it would have been sent in this area here, it would say Manuel Perez e-sign sent. If Manuel Perez had signed it, it would say Manuel Perez signed. So sign complete. So in the history, you can see everything that has happened from the beginning to the end. Now, these are demos that we're doing for ourselves. The system for maybe a month, it will have the option that you can delete these demos that you're doing. Okay, you can come here and you can delete them. That is going away because, as I told you before, Kai's company will not accept anything that you're working with somebody. They want you to keep it in your files. Okay, because if it's not a demo, if it's not a test, if it's nothing like that, then they don't want you to eliminate it. Even if it's a demo or a test, after, I think it's like a first month, they're not going to have that option for you to delete anything. Okay, is there any questions?
Elizabeth, hi. Could you repeat how to delete? Because I've done 2 demos and I'm trying to delete them and I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, if you can, the demos, you can delete them in any place you want. You can, like right here where I did the signing, I had programmed it for signing. I can come right here to signing and I can click on the one I want to delete. I just click on it. See, I put the little check mark and then I go to where my basket is.
Okay.
You just press either the delete or you press the remove, whichever you want. Okay.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
if you are in your transaction desk, you can also come here in the transaction and do the same. You click on it and then you go to the basket and you delete it. Okay.
Okay.
If you are in the agent dashboard and you come here and you highlight it, you can also delete it from there. You can go here and you can find
the first one.
Oh, thank you. Delete, and then you can delete it from there. So many places to do things. This is what this program has, that there's many places to do certain things. I want to show you, I want to go back to signing and I want to go back to the forms so I can show you something regarding the documents. You see where it says here, assign to checklist item. The checklist, remember, checklist means review. Okay, so let's go to checklist. You see here that it says assign to checklist item, signed document. So what does this mean? When this comes back signed, it will automatically allocate itself, if you prepare it, it will allocate itself to the correct positioning. So exclusive listing agent, the affiliate disclosure. And now when that person signs it, it goes automatically to the checklist. You don't have to do anything. So by doing it this way, you skip. Remember that all of us hated to do that review because after everything was done, now we had to do the review and put everything up there. Or as we were going through it, we had to do the review. We had to prepare the review so we don't forget that Surya needs to see what we're doing. Well, this actually does it automatically right as you are going to be sending that sign e-sign. And then that way, when it is signed, boom, it goes automatically to the review. If you need to add a document, you can come here and you can add a document from the forms of the transaction. You can select a document from Kai's. You can select a document from transaction and document, from your Google Drive, from your Dropbox, from your OneDrive, from your box, from a file, from a fax, from an email. I mean, you can select a document as you're doing the signing from right inside the system of eSign. So I think, again, that is fabulous.
Yeah.
So I don't know, excuse me, if you have any questions, please let me know. And if not, what I'll do is, I mean, the class is done, but
I do.
yes,
I asked you earlier about the details. because
detail. Let's go.
In the rent, when you just charge a 1 month's rent instead of a 10% commission, I couldn't, I've done 2 listing agreements for rents and I couldn't put that in there in the details.
Let's go, because I personally have not done the commission part yet, because the only thing I've been practicing on is the
In the
but-
details.
yeah,
In
but-
the
but
Yeah.
let's look. Okay, in the commission part. Okay, this is the reason it's not showing is because this is not the same as a buyer, so it wouldn't show me that. So I would have to open a buyer account. I would to do a buyer.
No, it's a seller because the seller pays the commission.
Yeah, but it's not doing it. Let
Oh.
me see. Let me see what I'm missing. I'm missing something in there.
Yeah.
It's not giving me the commission part.
Is there anything for landlord?
Yeah.
What do you mean if there's anything for landlord?
I mean, Brigitte is asking for a 1 month commission, and that's in the case of a rent.
Yes.
So you're working with seller. Isn't that the glitch that we should work with a landlord? And maybe there it is.
No, but it's that the commission is not showing at all. See, it's not showing
okay.
in my program. There should have been, the commission should have been here.
Yeah, it
Let
should.
me change the status. Hold on. Let me change the status because that might be it. Because it's only in the open. Maybe it's, let me see.
Maybe they should postpone the start date later than March if they have so many glitches.
It is not here in mine. I'm sorry, but it doesn't give me the commission part. But I know that what you do is there is certain lines on it that says you have to put it as a percentage. On the commission, if you're one person and you're getting the commission, then you would have to put, if it's a specific amount, then you would put the amount and it will analyze the percentage itself. Like, for example, if you have 5 people working on a project and each one gets an amount, you just put the amount that person is getting and the system calculates the percentage it is of the actual monies. Okay. So you try that and see. I know that part because I did a class with Tom Baker and he was explaining that because I had a scenario because I work with mentees. You know, there's sometimes I need to know what percentage. And he says, don't worry about the percentage, put the amount that each person is getting and the system will go ahead and create that. But I will try to see, I mean, I have to now check and see why my commission part is not coming out here.
Anything at the bottom?
It's not. It's supposed to be, but it's not.
It should be at the bottom, but it's not.
Mine is where it says closing. the same in the same page. If you go down all the way to the end.
Yeah, but see, it says transaction, but it doesn't say.
No, it's underneath details.
Yeah, it's not there, honey. There's
Oh,
no.
I
There's
can see it
nothing
on
else.
mine though. That's weird.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know why, but it's not working. And that's, sometimes those things happen. The only other thing I was thinking is, let me put the price, because that could be it.
Or maybe where it says, mine says residential listing, yours says condo listing. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what
because it's a condo. I mean,
Because if it would have some box where you can put a comment, then, I tried to find a box for that, but I didn't find one either.
actually, there is. They're supposed to see where it says notes.
Oh, yeah.
There, that will say, if you have any comment to tell for that specific transaction, you put it there, and it's the micro. It shows for everybody specifically. So you can put, if you have a question, you can put it there. That's what he said. But of course, if Soraya is not, it doesn't know that is the case, maybe she wouldn't know where to find it. But that is what he told us. Let me see.
Mine, it shows the closing, and you can put in the listing commission amount, which on each side, listing and selling, and then underneath says listing commission amount.
Exactly.
One is percentage, one is amount. Yeah, you can put
Well,
it.
it usually comes out, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, on mine it doesn't, so that's
It's not
why.
coming out on hers right now.
Yeah, mine, I have a glitch.
Yeah.
Nothing
No,
new.
that was my question. Elizabeth, if we have so many different glitches going on, are they still gonna start everything on March 1st, go live? I mean,
Liz, that's what, Lizzie, that's what they're saying. They're trying to let everybody know, like right now, I had not done the commission part on mine. So now I have to send him a report that I have a glitch with that. I had a glitch with the trying to make the T in the form. I couldn't do it, so I have to let them know. But in these type of things, maybe one person has a glitch, but maybe the other 900 don't. So we're not going to stop it because of that one person. So they're going to try to go ahead on March the 1st. That's what they have told us. And then task, remember, one of the things that somebody had asked about task, you can create your task on this also, and that will help you in the future when you open your transaction. You can add the task right here. You can add the name, the description, the past due date. Who should you
how did you
share
get to
this?
that? How did you get there?
I just pressed task. I just pressed task.
Where'd you find task? Where'd you
On
find
the right hand side. And remember, everything is on the right hand side for you.
Or on the left.
And on the left too, because you have it on the left side also. So
I don't see that at all.
okay, on your right hand side or on your left hand side, you have the calendar is the task.
Oh, okay, I see.
And the word task is on the right. Just
yeah, I
press
found
that.
it. I found
And
it
then
out. There was before, when you started on the whole thing, there was a time that you got a bunch of boxes on top when you
Yes,
were
that's
trying
in
to
your
add.
agent. If you go to your left and you click on the little wheel of time and you click there and it says agent dashboard.
No, that's not what I meant.
Yes, that is. Wait a minute. So that's where you have all of these boxes. And then if you want to add, you can have no more than 6 of these boxes. If you want to add, you go to where it says lock and unlock dashboard. And then that's where you get.
What does this mean? All this yellow, blue, and whatever gray.
These are things you can add. Templates. This is where you can create the template, a new template. And then here you have get started. If you have any questions, you can go here and ask, they have guides. So you can see, this is to create, you can create it from here.
The blue means you can add and the green means it's already there, or?
I don't know the specification of the blue or the green. I'm sorry, I didn't create this, so I'm not sure what they mean, but I know that on both you can write on them. You have here for your notes. You can reject a file, requested, missing, you know, there's everything. The overdue of a task, which I already have down here. That's why you're not seeing it, because I have overdue, task, and task.
Yeah.
So that way, when I open it, it will tell me what, if I created a task, it will tell me you have a task due. But if it's overdue, it's going to be over here saying, hey, this task is overdue. So
Because I click on those green and blue boxes and nothing happens.
it's not that to happen, is you grab it and you bring it down to your,
Oh.
Yeah.
What I didn't know. You grab it
and bring it down to your desktop dashboard.
you can only grab the green ones because it's not working.
You grab everything. See, I just grabbed the blue one, and I
The
can
green
grab the
one,
blue, and I
nothing's
can
happening on
grab
the
the
green one.
green. I can grab the green.
But try to put it on the green because the green's not coming up anywhere.
If you have, like I said, you can only have, I believe it's 6. If you have more than 6, you
I don't
can't add any more.
I have 4 and it's
Okay,
not.
so you should be able to add it. If it's already there, if you're bringing down forms and you already have it, it's not going to put it. So
No, I'm bringing out a checklist. and it's
so
not
just
there.
bring it down all the way down, all the
Yeah,
way down, bring it all the way down.
No pasa
And-
nada. No pasa nada. It's not doing it.
All right.
No.
This is Victor Cooper. When we were doing form simplicity, if we had a situation in the early stages of learning form simplicity, there was an 800 number. If we got stuck, they would walk us through the process. Is there an
Yes.
800 number for this
Yes.
transaction desk?
Yes, and actually it's even better, because actually this one is 24 hours.
Oh,
Okay.
great.
So there, there is videos, right? Like this one right here. You have the video right here explaining how to do anything that I just told you about. It's right here in the video. And then if you have any questions, you go to help, okay, on your left-hand side, and here's your 1-800, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Awesome.
And this is, Ida, this is the support, TD support at iwolf.com. This is where you would send your problem that you don't have the password. This is where you would send it. And then they even have live support. They have online training, which with videos. Any feedback, like here is where I have to put my problem that I don't have my commission.
The live support, they chat with you. They're really
Chat.
good.
Yeah, they chat with you. Correct.
I chatted with one guy and he put me a picture of how I had to do it. Really good.
Right, right. So everything is there. I mean, you know that I'm constantly learning and learning programs and doing all this. I feel that this is much easier than KV Core, than all the things that we have done before. I mean, it's just new. It's new. And anything new is going to be time consuming. Another thing, these 3 little wheels here, these 3 little wheels is the settings. And you can go there and you can put already all your preference. You can put your information so that it's correct. All your information. You can put the office information. You can look at it to make sure that they have you at the Coral Gables and don't have you in the Miami Beach. You can put your email, how you want it to go out, so you don't have to be filling that portion of it. You can put your branding, like you can put a banner of yourself, okay? You can put your picture, and you can put the logo of the office. Okay, everything could be there in the preference. And then you can preset items like your transaction, your documents, your checklist, your forms, your faxing, your task. Like right here in your task, you can tell them default for the owner assign the owner, you can do dates, what to do with the due dates, and a reminder, how you want the reminders. You want to summarize daily reminder, and then from what time to what time, show completed task, and what time you want to make sure you don't get an email at 12 o'clock in the morning. So maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon, between 3 and 3:30, I want to see my daily task be provided. Your email settings, your authentication of settings, last modified, how you want it to go in order. So there's a lot of different settings here that you can go and change and, and make it your own. Then you also have checklist manager is what they did for the checklist and who created it. And all of them were created by Tom Baker. Okay, we really can't do much there unless you have a checklist that you want to add to the checklist. Then you can actually go into the checklist, and if there's something specific that you want to add to a checklist, you can go ahead and go in it, and you can add to that checklist. Okay. There's team sharing also. That's supposed to be another class. And service providers, they also have things about the service providers, which is empty, not found anymore. And then, like I said, on the left side, pretty much is the same thing. This is your transaction. This is your signing. This is your forms. This is your documents. This is your task. And this is your contacts. Okay. This down here is partners. They have different, the commission partner, the rents, and just different things, which I don't think none of us use. But you can do it from here, from your left, or you can also do it when you're in your transaction. You can also do it from the right. Okay. And if there isn't any, do we have any, let me see, chat, any additional question? Will the KAIS form still be in Form Simplicity after the switch? Yes, the KAIS forms will be in Form Simplicity. The only thing, remember that if you do not put the KAIS forms in the transaction desk and you have commissions coming to you, you will not be paid if you did the work in Form Simplicity. But if you have a form that let's say that you had listed a property and now you're working in transaction desk and now you have a contract and it's past March. So now you really have to create a transaction for that property because now you have a buyer. So you would have to download all those forms and upload it, which you would use your document. You would do the transaction and then just go straight to your document, upload those files, and that's it. Now, one thing that I forgot to tell you, please always use when you're actually sending somebody information, let's say to the other realtor, and the other realtor has to send the contracts back to you. If you put your specific email address for this transaction as one of the CCs, and ask the realtor to respond to all, then anything she sends you, it will go automatically into your documents, into your transaction. So then you don't have to go ahead and download whichever she sends you and upload it to your documents. Okay? That's something that was available in Form Simplicity, but not a lot of people used it.
I don't know
And-
how to use that. Where do you put that email?
Okay, so what you do is you grab this email, right? And you know when you just copy the email, and let's say that I'm sending somebody a letter, I mean a contract.
Okay.
It didn't copy.
Oh, I see.
Didn't copy it. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back over there a minute. Okay, so I come here, I copy it. Ay, caramba. I can actually open an email and use it from there, but if I'm doing it for another realtor, I can go ahead and copy it here. Okay. And I can copy the realtor's email. I can copy my email. I can copy everybody. But then when I respond to the realtor and I say, when you return the signed contract, please reply to all.
Okay.
Or you can say, please be sure to send not only to my email, but to also send it to this email. And
Okay.
then that automatically is going to go straight into the document file. And then you don't have to worry about it. Let's say that she forgot, okay? And she sent everything to you, but she forgot to do that. What you do is you forward it, you just go to your file, you know, to your file, and you forward it to
that email.
to that email. It takes a little bit of time. It might not be like 2 seconds later is there, but it saves you a lot of time from having to download, upload, and all of that. Okay.
Sounds
Yeah,
good.
that was something that was in Form Simplicity, but sometimes I would, even myself, I would forget to use it because in Form Simplicity, it was on, I think it was like on to the left and it was underneath something, you know, you wouldn't see it so easily. Here, you have it very easily. You have it right here. And again, let me try. No, it doesn't work. Because this check mark is to save anything new. You press in the check mark and it's supposed to save your transaction if you upgraded something in here. Let me see something because it could be here. Yeah, it's the name. I'm upgrading. Let me see if I put one. Aha, that's what it is. It's letting me save the name. So if you change the name, it will go ahead and light up. See? It lights up then. Okay, perfect. And any other question? We went a little over, but I hope everybody understood. And remember, we still have almost 3 weeks. Just watch all the videos that Wendy Iglesias sends. Watch all the videos, and the best practice is to actually do it. Create a demo, so that way it doesn't affect your files in the future. Create whatever the address is and create a demo. One other thing, over here, you see this here? That's a picture I put. You can put the picture of the property. Okay, or if whatever makes you happy. This is the view of the property that I'm going to
put in the
sell.
MLS. Does it transfer automatically?
No, it doesn't. You have to actually upload it.
You have a chat question from Maria Alejandra Bustillos.
Maria Alejandra Bustillos.
Yeah, regarding.
I sent general invitation to everyone.
I think.
General invitation.
Yeah, I don't think that pertains to this though.
I don't think so.
No, general invitations from KV Core, but not from
Maria Alejandra, are you there? Maria Alejandra, are you in the class?
Yeah, she's there.
Muted.
Okay, can you ask me the question because I'm not sure what you're asking.
Take off your mute. Maria Alejandra, quita el mute. I don't think she knows how to mute.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I see her.
No, she's there, but she's blacked out. Tengo problemas con el mute. Okay.
Okay. Well, the only thing I am imagining that you're talking about, Maria Alejandra, is when you're signing if you're signing and you want to send an invite to everybody, then they mean that everybody is signing. So the only thing you have to make sure that everybody has an email. If you want to send the information to everybody that is a participant, for example, you want to send it to Carlos, you want to send it to me, you want to send it to whoever you want to send it to, then everybody has to have the email address in their file. And I can't open. Okay, about Elizabeth. Come on, guys. Okay, it's not letting me open, so I'm just gonna open mine. Let's see. No, it's not letting me open. Sorry. But you would open the file of Elizabeth or whoever it is you want, and then you would go ahead and put that they're signing. Or if you want them to get the file, the information, you just press where it says CC. You press where it says CC. And then, oh, another thing, let's say, like I said before, you wanted Manuel to sign first, but for some reason it was Elizabeth. You can move this. You can move it down, you can move it up, okay? So that's another thing that this has nice. You can move the positioning. I don't know if that is the question. Let me look.
How do you get everybody to sign at one time, not in order? Like right now, you're talking about Manny signing first, Elizabeth signing second. Sometimes I would send it to the husband and wife to sign at the same time.
Yeah, I always send it that way too.
Right. That would be in the participation.
Participant? Okay.
Yeah, hold on. We used to do that in form simplicity. Quiero saber, para enviar el e-sign es a generar invitación. I've never seen.
No, me neither. I've never, you can send to everybody, but it's up to 2 people. Unless you add a third and a fourth, unless you add to a third or fourth person, you can only send to 2 signers max.
This would be in your detail. So for example, this is signing in line.
That's where it says email sign, first come, first serve. That's where it goes to everybody. So whoever signs it first is fine.
Yeah, this goes in line of order. And then if you wanted first come, first serve, then you would use this one. Okay?
Yeah.
This is the one you would use, first come, first serve.
What I'm not understanding is when you say only 2 people can send, if you have a lead-based situation where the house has to be sent the lead document to sign, I have to sign or initial that, if I'm not mistaken. So why is it only 2 people allowed to sign?
No, there's no 2 people. It could be as many people, but it's going to go, if everybody's going, Victor, what I think you're asking is if it could be sent to the same email. Yes, you can send it to the same email, but it is always and has always been one person has to sign and then the next person gets to sign. It is never both signing at the same time, ever. Because one has to sign and then the other, unless you're sending it to different emails. Then when it's sent to different emails, then it could go like it says here, first come, first serve. It's just however it goes out, signing participant.
To the same email.
Yeah, but my thing was that you can send it to up to 2 buyers, because if you see the actual contract, it doesn't let you do more than 2 buyers or 2, it only has 2 parentheses or 2 signatures. That was that's what I had to say, not what she was, she was trying to explain.
So we have 2 questions now instead of 1.
So what is the question?
She go beyond her time where she's getting cut off by the system, or is it something?
Apparently,
No,
apparently.
We would have gotten cut off too.
Hi.
I'm talking.
Elizabeth, I have a question.
Yeah, do you not hear me?
I do.
Sí. Yes. Ahora sí, antes no.
Okay. All right. What is the question?
Okay. Sometimes it's an older person and the son, let's say, and they use the same email, but 2 persons signing. Can I do that? Because
Yes.
I do it with for simplicity.
Yes, you can. You just
Okay.
put the email on the person. When you go to the person, the actual participant, you
Yeah.
just go in there
And it's the same email for both of them.
yeah, you just put the same email. And then the
Okay,
only thing I
okay.
said at the beginning, if you want to have a password for the other person, so they can show that you protected the person by sending a password, and they actually had to put in the password to get into the program. If you want to do that, you can. Okay.
Okay.
Like right here.
We don't see,
I can't see the screen.
yeah, we don't see anything.
Not anymore.
It must be, it took me out. It took me out.
Yeah.
Share, pon sharing otra vez. Share the screen.
Hold on. Yeah, it took me out. Oh,
Okay.
all right.
Maria Alejandra también she was asking you another question.
Okay,
There you are.
There it is. Okay.
so you see here that it has signing pin, and you
Yes.
see here for Maria Alejandra. You see here, Maria Alejandra, if you want everybody to sign, they have to say remote signer. If you don't want everybody to sign, but you want everybody to get it, then you go here where it says CC and everybody gets it. But you have to put each person's name, and you have to create a participant, and you have to save them, and each of them have to have an email. But if you only want them to see it, then you press CC, and they all will get it at the end. If you want them to be the remote signer, then you have to hit the remote signer. If you want them to just review it, then you press reviewer. Which normally that is your branch manager or your mentor, or or maybe an attorney that doesn't have to sign but needs to see the forms.
Yeah.
So that's how you would use it.
Elizabeth, I have a question. I know it goes back to the beginning. Even though I've done 2 already, I never remember when I started filling out the form, because you start with apply a package, and then you do the checklist. But where does it show just the 2 or 3 or 4 documents that you want to fill out?
Yes, that
just those, I don't want to see all the others. I just want to see the ones.
Well, but you're the one that chooses that. It's not the system. You choose those forms. You choose the forms that you want. So
I know, but where do they show? Once
where
I
do they
choose them.
Here. When you are here.
No, I don't mean in signing. I mean it in the transaction. In signing, it's okay. I think that's pretty easy. But I'm talking about the beginning of the transaction.
When you go to the beginning of transaction and you press your transaction, you already created the transaction. You already created, right?
I just created it.
Okay. You created the transaction. You go
right.
The 3 little buttons.
Yes.
That's where you go. You apply template. You apply the template.
Okay.
And when you apply the template, you go and you look for whatever you're looking for.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Then that will provide you with the templates. The templates are what is called the forms. So
if it's not there, you can upload it.
Excuse me?
If it's not there, you can upload them, right?
Yeah, but that's not what she's asking. So the forms will be here, okay? And the forms, you can press forms here on the right. You can press forms here on the left, or you can look into your transaction desk and the forms are right here. So,
okay, but now I only want 2 forms.
Okay, so you press and you use the 2 forms that you want, and the rest you can delete. If you don't want to use
I
them,
have to delete them. Okay.
you can delete them, or when you are actually going, because for example, what are you going to do with those forms? You're going to send them in e-signing, correct?
Yes.
So then when you're in e-signing, you can choose the forms you want also. In the area, you can choose, you can have already had chosen the forms that you want. You can choose the two forms that you wanted to add to eSign. You could have just said that. You could have clicked and said, this is the one I'm going to use for eSign, and this other one is the one I'm going to
And
use.
fill them out there?
You can fill them out there. Actually, remember what I said? If you have to select more forms, if you have to select more forms, you can select more forms from transaction form, or you can select them from individual forms, whatever you want to do, from a transaction form or from individual form. You can also select from your transaction itself. Okay, these are all the forms. So you can go here and say, okay, I want to go ahead and put the seller disclosure form included in that. So I'm going to add it to my eSign.
By the way, there's two forms of seller disclosures, which is
No. It's that I did it twice to show.
no, not yours. I'm talking about before when we were in the forms place. There was two different forms.
Well, because there's one for seller for houses. This is the one for houses, and there's one for condos.
No, there was one for, it said something about anti-fillable or something like that.
No, there's, remember, we're many in this transaction. It doesn't just show Coral Gables. It shows all the different companies that Kai's has bought out, and their names look different. So you have to be very diligent that it's something that is just for
it doesn't say that. I'm saying because it says, one says seller property disclosure residential, and then the other says seller's real property disclosure Authentisign. What is the difference? What does that mean?
Because one is that you're going to give it to the person personally, and the other one is to e-sign it, and it's fillable. One is not fillable, the other one is fillable.
Which is Authentisign?
The one that says fillable is the one that you would need to use.
It doesn't say fillable, it says residential, and the other says Authentisign.
So then you would use the Authentisign for when you're signing.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I would always use the one that says fillable. If you're going to do anything with eSign, use the one that says fillable, because if not, they won't be able to fill the information.
Eso no dice fillable en ninguna parte.
Yeah, there is one that says fillable. So, I think it's Maria Butillo. Maria, I still don't understand your question because I think I just gave it to you, but you said it's not that, and I don't know what. I don't know where are you? The only other thing I can imagine is if you're talking about details, or the participants. Normally these participants, where you would had put those in, were in when you created the transaction at the first time you created the transaction. And remember, you can create the transaction in KV Core in 3 different places. You can create it in transaction, you can create it in quick action and create a transaction, or you can create it in the smart CRM, going to the client that you want to use, and then in their CRM you can create their files. So I would go to Elizabeth, I would hit Elizabeth Perez, and I would go here where it says add a transaction, and then I can create. And then here, anybody, when you have this little box, anybody that you want to add, you can add as many people as you want. Okay, then all these people will be part of the invitation, if that is what you wanted to happen. One is the seller, okay, the type. One is the buyer. One is the buyer attorney. One is the seller, or the landlord or the escrow company. Another one is the listing broker. The other one, of course, we need the Mr. Seller somewhere, Mr. Seller.
Company.
Okay, the seller. And you see, all of these people can be invited to see the transaction. Now, the only thing you have to remember is that when they are invited, they have to be invited not as signers. They have to be invited as a reviewer, or they have to be invited as, hold on, let me find they have to be invited as a CC, that they will get the contract at the end. When everybody signed it, they will get the contract. And that is done in the part of signing, the e-sign, that is done where it says participants. So if we go to signing and we click on the transaction, and then all of these participants, as you can see here, if they're signing, they have a pen. If they're getting an email, when everything is signed, they will have a little email, like a little letter, okay? So it will tell you what each of these people are getting. I don't know if that is your question. I hope it is. If not, then call me and we will try to identify what the question was, Maria Alejandra, because I don't know.
Elizabeth, this is Victor. I'm not sure if that's duplicating the process, but when I did a transaction in Form Simplicity and I created the participants, I did it one time. It saved the participants if I was dealing with that. Let's say I had a contract that I submitted for someone, I'm representing the buyer, and we submitted a contract and it didn't get accepted. Someone outbid us on the property. We get another property I'm trying to do a contract on. I don't want to have to create these people again. They're already as participants. When I go to add participants, what I'm wondering is, where are these people going to be kept for future reference? So if I have a buyer and that contract didn't get accepted, we're now putting another contract in on another property. Do I have to recreate all this? Where are they as far as participants, where I could just click on their names and make sure that I'm sending them the contract on another property, not recreating their names again?
Yeah, if you went ahead and when you were creating them and they were not in your CRM, if they were in your CRM, they would be in your CRM. And anytime you are going to look for their information, you would just go and add them and in the beginning at the creation, and they would be, their name would be found in the CRM. If they are not, you have never had them, you come here to when you typed in the participant and you put save to contacts, and now they're in.
Okay.
That's it. Save to contacts. And of course, press save so you know that it's saved. But that's where you would do it. Okay. Okay, guys, I have a class at 1, so I have to leave you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Elizabeth.
Not a problem. Next
Very
week,
Thank you,
informative.
Elizabeth.
you're welcome. Next week, what we'll do, hold on, let me stop the sharing a minute. Hold on a minute. Stop sharing. There we are. And let's stop the recording.